Hey everybody, TBC here, and we're now a little under a week away from the launch of the latest TLP for Everquest. That is Oakwind. Where has the time gone? This year has absolutely flown by, and we're almost here, ready to start our adventures all over again. So I thought right now you're probably planning what race you're going to play as, what class, and where your buddies are also going to be playing as, so you can group up together as quickly as possible. So I thought I'd put together a quick video on starting cities and zones I think you should absolutely avoid if you can. Now, having said that, this is my opinion and your mileage may vary. The experience you have as a single player, just playing by yourself, leveling, can be very different from a pre-made group of 6 who can out-level the area very quickly and dominate that area and move on. But with that being said, let's get right on over into it. So, my first zone may come as a little bit of a surprise for everyone. It's Greater Fadark. Most of the zones on my list are going to be these kind of old world zones that haven't really been touched since 1999, and Greater Fadark is one of those. The problem with this zone is there's going to be too many people starting here, and there's simply not enough mobs. So I'm here right now in the Killing Noob area, and where are all the mobs? We've seen a handful, and that's kind of it. And if you go down to Felwith, there's the city of Felwith, it really ain't much better. There's just a handful of mobs on this little hill, and that's kind of it. And there's going to be so many people starting in this area. A lot of people make elves a very popular race, so you're going to be competing for a handful of mobs. And even with the pick thresholds, it still needs something like 50 people to spawn a new pick. There's just not enough mobs for the amount of people that are going to be killing here, in my opinion. Elves are super popular, so if it was me, I would try and start somewhere else. And it's not like if you go to like the next kind of camp in this area over on Orc Hill, again, there's just not a lot of mobs. There's just one camp, and people train through here all the time, going to and from Crushbone. There's basilisks that roam that stun for a really long time, and then you'll get nuked down by the Orc Oracles. Loads of people always die on this hill. It's just not good. Avoid it. Crushbone, to be honest, isn't much better. It's an old world zone, and it's again one that I don't like going to unless you're that first group and you can hit the front room. There's just not enough mobs for pretty much anybody else. So in my opinion, Greater Fadark is not a zone that I want to come to and I want to be starting characters in. It's not all bad though. There are some positives to this zone, especially Skeleton, because the city's in the zone. You don't have to leave it to be able to sell, to be able to get your spells, to be able to skill up and get to the bank and so forth. It's all here and ready for you. And these days, it's not like it was 20 years ago. We can use Find to get around, and even after all these years I still need to use Find to work myself around this city. It is a little bit of a maze, so that is certainly one of the benefits to why you might consider starting in and leveling up in Skeleton, Greater Fadark. Next up, we've got this zone. Grob and Innerfell Swamp. This is possibly the worst zone to start in and to try and level in. It's not a fun zone at all. One of the biggest problems with it is the water. There is a bit of an issue with hitboxes and hit detection in water. If you're casting spells on a mob in the water and you're outside of the water, they'll just ignore it and you would have wasted your mana. Just like this rat, if you were trying to cast a spell, you're just wasting your time. Mobs will also run away. They'll go in the water, they swim faster than you, so you can never kill them. And a lot of the mobs here are social, like a lot of snakes social, and that can be really annoying because there's a lot of them. All of a sudden you're surrounded by 5-6 snakes. Same for the other ones as well. They're all social if there's others around, like the frog logs, the mushroom dudes, and the kobolds. There's so many better places to level than this zone. It does have its benefits that it is close to Guk, and a lot of people will be coming to Guk later on, but in my opinion, it is not worth the pain that you have to suffer through to get there in trying to level in this newbie area. It's potentially just one of the worst ones, and I will never come here ever again. Run up to Freeport. I really like Neriak. I think it's a cool city. I love the aesthetic and the idea of the Dark Elf zone being all underground and tunnels, and because of the vision and stuff like that. But I do not like starting in Nektulos. Main reason for that, to be honest, is there will be a lot of people making Dark Elves. Again, they're a very popular race, and Nektulos cannot support it. In my opinion, there's just not a lot of mobs around for those first few levels, and the minute you go slightly further away, you are encountering things like festering hags, which are like level 12 and will just destroy you. You go in the other direction, you've got a bunch of halflings which really don't like you and will chop you up, and you go south and there's a bunch of like humans and stuff. So I don't like Nektulos as a starting area. One of the benefits is it's close to the Lava Storm and the Sol A and B dungeons, which are both really, really good. And of course, the other and main problem I have with this starting area is the size and annoyance of the city, because it's not like Kelethin where everything's there and ready for you in the first area or you're in the same zone. No, if you make a cleric, you have to zone 3 times to get there. It's so frustrating. So if you are running back to your guildmaster and you don't have origin yet, you really got to make sure it's worth your while to go back. You better make sure you bought those store bags, because you're going to be needing them. Otherwise you're running out of space and having to come and see merchants and do all that, and I'm struggling to find my way around here yet again. I have to use the map to find my way to commons. Don't know why this really had to be 3 or 4 zones now as it is. It's a frustrating experience having to run through 3 zones. Eventually it gets like muscle memory, right? But I've done it. I've done it twice. I've had 2 main Dark Elf characters, and I won't do it again, I don't think. And another annoying problem I find is even when you reach Plains of Power, that book is so far away in Nektulos. It's an extra minute run to kind of get there, which after you've zoned 3 times from the Cleric Guild is just too much, and the bank's annoying and underground. So yeah, Nektulos, Dark Elves, super popular. There'll be a lot of people there, and you've got to combat with this very, very frustrating city with lots of zones. Okay, I had to put this city in, the city of Hollis. It's not actually a terrible place to level for these first few levels, in my opinion, because you come out of the city gates and there's actually a decent amount of mobs in this tunnel system that you can kill, and not many people make barbarians. There's a reason for that, and that is the run that you have to make to leave this area. You've got to go through Blackburrow, and then you're in Kinos. So if you're trying to get over to where your buddies are in Freeport, good luck to you, because it's not going to happen. You are stuck leveling by yourself until you can get through Blackburrow. You're not going to be able to go anywhere else, but you'll level fairly quick with all this area through this very annoying tunnel system. I actually like the city of Hollis. I think it's a cool little self-contained city. It's small. It has everything's relatively close by, but there is one extra annoyance that they had to put in because they can't make it too convenient for you, and that is this: the water bridge. You've got 2 options. You either swim, which at level 1 takes forever to get across, or you wait for the boat, barge, whatever, which is really slow and takes forever until you get levitate and you can just bypass it. Again, it's just one of those very frustrating little additions that just knock Hollis down a little bit. If you really like barbarians though, there'll be about 5 of you, so you'll have plenty of mobs. It's just that run that you've got to make afterwards that, yeah, really pegs it down for me. This one might be controversial, and I'm not sure I fully agree with myself why I put it on this list. I really dislike the west side of Antarctica for a start. I don't like the zones. I think they're way too big, and it just takes forever to get anywhere else. Again, see, that's the theme of why I'm putting a lot of these zones where there are. The main ambition for me on the TLP is to level as quickly as possible, because that's when I can start having fun, farming some items, doing what I want to do, getting the quest done, doing trade skills. And until it gets level 50, I'm not really doing that. So I want to get there as fast as I can. And if I have to run around places and run through zones to get everywhere, that's time I could be killing if I'd started somewhere better. And that's why I have to put Kinos on that list, because look at it when you're zoning into Karana. It's absolutely massive, way too big. And again with Kinos, it suffers from that lack of mobs in its noob area. There'll be a decent amount of people there, not as many nowadays because few people do it now. They took the mail quests away, and there is also the catacombs, aqueducts underneath, which are a little bit better as well. Another option, and Blackborough is close by, so there are options to level here. It's just, again, if you want to group up with a guildie or who's in Freeport, which is the centre of the world of Everquest and Classic, you've got that long run through all the Karanas, through High Pass, through all that, through Kithakor. That's an hour that you're going to waste getting there easily, and that's an hour that you're falling behind everybody else, not leveling, and take you an extra hour to level up. So again, that's why I have to put it on my list. So there you have it. There's my list of starting areas that I personally would rather not go to, and I try to avoid starting in. I think there's way better starting areas out there that will get you out of those newbie areas and ahead of the curve of everybody else as quickly as possible. Best way to do it, if you're going to be wanting to level quick, is always with 5 other players working together. It's the quickest way to level, and there's definitely some zones that you want to be going to if you are going to be doing that. And like I said, I'll cover those on a video tomorrow. So if you don't want to miss that video, feel free down below to hit the like and subscribe. It really does help me grow the channel, and I do enjoy making these videos, and it's very, very much appreciative. Also, let me know your thoughts down below. Do you have a favourite spot that you like to go, or like to always start in every year on these TLPs? Or are you completely against what I've said and you think Kinos is the best place ever, or Neriak, and so on? Again, let me know down in the comments. We are a few days away now from the launch of Oakwind. I'm hopeful I'm going to be live streaming that launch. I'm really excited to get going and start that level 1 to 50 all over again. I really do think it's one of the best MMO experiences that you can have to this day. Is a brand new TLP leveling up with hundreds, sometimes thousands of other people. Where Oakwind will fit yet, we really don't know. I'm expecting it to probably be on the lower end of the population chart, which again is can be a bit of an advantage for people who are more casual. I think Oakwind's going to be a really good option for you out there. Other than that, I am TBC, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.